Hi everyone, Pete and Grada here from the Purple House. We're a bit late tonight because we had a burst water pipe in the garden and Peter had to bring out his problem solving skills. It's Friday night here, of course, a funny time to have a burst water pipe. But anyway, we've clamped it down and it really got me thinking about children, because tonight we want to talk about children a little bit and about ADHD and other issues that parents often have to deal with their kids now. And sometimes your child can go from, most beautiful, behaved, loving child, and suddenly it's like the pipe has burst and that your child can just instantly change and, things get out of control. Sometimes it's as quick as that your child will change overnight.
And I might be called away with the plumber coming. So you need a plumber if your child has a burst water pipe.
Well, you need some expert help, and many people do, of course, go to a school psychologist, or people are alarmed, they go to the doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, all the support people at school.
We've got new mics, so can I just ask someone to comment to say that they can hear it?
At least like a thumbs up or something like that. Hopefully you can hear us, otherwise I have to start all over again. But I can't really see any comments, so I'll just have to trust. Okay. Yeah. Sorry people. So lately we've actually had a wave, not of burst water pipes, but we've had a wave of kids in our clinic, loud and clear. Awesome, Cheryl, good, yeah. A lot of children come through the clinic. Maybe it's because it's Christmas and the world's cranking up and everything is going crazy. But some of these children were put on antidepressants or ADHD drugs.
Yeah.
And
there's a big prevalence of children being medicated, which...
Yeah, actually, I looked up the numbers in Australia last year. 220,000 children are on medical drugs. I'll put it in the article for mental illness, which is actually, it's staggering. And
there was over about 1.2 million prescriptions for ADHD drugs for children.
As well.
Written in 2018.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, all right.
Staggering.
Mm-hmm. So we're not just here to give you the bad news. We're here to give you some good news as well. So there are simple things you can do to help your child. Yeah. For starters, it is always good probably to bring for a treatment. But if you can't come, if you live too far away, I'll show you some quick exercises towards the end of this session. But we just want to tell you to take your child off all carbs, most carbs, most grains. Grains, you have to avoid them like the plague. Just let me talk. Because grains tend to swell up in the tummy and they tend to swell up the brain. And so grains is bread, of course. And what happens when the brain swells, it hits the skull and it's very irritating. So the child is actually in distress. And this happens very quickly. So if your child eats a sandwich, within 5 minutes, their brain can be swollen and the tummy as well, and out comes the behavior. So there is an absolute link between the food that your child eats and the behavior that you see.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I had a young couple bring a child to me who the teachers were saying needed to go on Ritalin for disruptive behaviour at school, couldn't concentrate. And I suggested they limit the high-starch carbohydrates and sugars and give him a lot of fat in his diet, so his brain's getting good fuel all the time. I suggested he have probiotics for his intestinal health, because 90% of our own serotonin is made by these little critters. And the other thing was a multivitamin called Mighty Mins, which has been proven to increase grades for children by 2 or 3 grades.
Like to do with academic performance and behaviour at school.
And 2 weeks later they came back to me and they had a perfect child, and the teachers couldn't get over it either.
So we do get a lot of children that are sent to us because I guess the teachers and the parents talk, so it's word of mouth, and these children come from, hours drive away. So when we get to see them, we often we do different tests, and then we can also rebalance the energetic circuits of the body, which is a bit like we pull out the bad energy, if you want to put it real simple, and then we rewire the body and the nervous system so that the child feels settled, calm, relaxed, happy, friendly. They often don't get bullied at school anymore, or if they've had a friction on the outside, disappears as well. And it is really
Just
like a miracle.
Tweaks the brain a little bit, or the nervous system, so they're nice and relaxed and happy.
And the child doesn't have to even be in our room, by the way, because we can also do it over Zoom. We've done that a lot this year with COVID, and it works just as well. Plus, I want to show you something actually before I continue, what you can do to calm your child down. So, every day you do it sideways if you like. So, the survival brain or the stress brain or the anger brain, when your child is angry or anxious or full of fear or worry or whatever, that means there's too much blood and energy going in the survival brain, which is at the back of the body. And so you just simply put one hand there, so it doesn't matter, just do it in a comfortable way, the flat of your hand. And the other hand goes here, so here are our most powerful de-stress points, just right here. And so you just put your hand like this. And if you do this every day with your child, through good behavior, bad behavior, doesn't matter. Don't just do it when he or she is bad behaved. Do it when they feel good too.
That's why I'm so calm. Brother has to do it to me for a long.
You actually rebalance the child's brain, and you make new neural pathways towards the calming system. So here, this is our rational brain when we process things. So suddenly, your child will return to his normal healthy self, normal healthy happy self. Even if your child has always been fidgety or anxious or has anger outbursts, if your child is kind of born like that, that still means though that he or she is not expressing their optimum self, which is hidden somewhere in the DNA, because the body has the perfect blueprint for mental health. It's locked away in the body, and you simply have to unlock it. So you can do that very, very easily like that. You can do it to yourself too, of course, because parents need a gold medal, all parents, because we love our children so much. We just bend over backwards, inside out, work so hard, cook and clean, do everything, and then you get phone calls from the school. There's like nothing more disheartening than that. Peter and I went through that, of course, because we've got 6 children, and of course they all had their own ways of showing us how special they were, and some of our kids made themselves very special by acting out, of course. So
they had to sit on a special seat.
It can be really discouraging, because here in the background you're trying to do everything right, and then you get like rewarded with like bad behavior. But I'm also here to tell you that it will all pan out in the long run. It usually really, really does. And so when your child is actually acting out during the really intense behaviors, it's just best a lot of the time to let that slide, because what you resist persists. And then when you have the good times, like when everything is calm, that's when you have to reinforce the positive. So that's a good time to really listen and be present for your child. So your child just wants you to be present. A lot of the time,
quite often they are reacting around situations as well.
At home, they're like expressing distressed energy in the mom or in the dad, or sometimes even family, friends or grandparents. So that can all come through the child, because you have to remember your child doesn't even have a protective shield yet. It's just totally unconscious mind. So it's picking up on absolutely everything. So one time, actually, a lot of children take the Bioreculus. And one time we had this awesome couple with a little child that needed Bioreculus for his tummy, like because he didn't have any good gut bacteria. And this is, by the way, good gut bacteria and a complete food as well. So this would be the pick of the bunch actually when I really think about it, because it's a complete food. So like one serving of these and your child doesn't actually need
They don't,
anything else
yeah,
much.
just a drink of that is a meal, really.
Other than good fats, make sure you give your child lots of butter or olive oil,
cream,
coconut oil, meat fats, lamb chop fats, really good. Anyway, so this couple, we said, well, you know, if they're not used to it, it's a bit of an acquired taste. And they said, oh, don't worry. And so they went home and got a big syringe from the chemist and just mixed it up and put it in a syringe and then just squirted it in the little child's mouth every day. And, you know, within a very short time, only a matter of weeks, and that child was so healthy again. No more tummy aches, no more behaviors, and pooing normal. So if your child is acting out, you also have to probably do a worm treatment. That's another thing that we know totally from experience, right? There aren't any good medical tests to prove worms, so it's pretty safe to assume that a lot of the time your children do have worms
and us adults
parasites.
as well.
And Peter and I can check for that in a live blood if you want to know for sure. We do check that under the microscope in your blood, or we can check it with kinesiology as well. We can check for parasites, but just to be on the safe side, again, if you can't come to us or you want to, you know, do something today, give your child some worming treatment, right? So we usually recommend diatomaceous earth for children, or fermented olive leaf extract,
which can be mixed in with a Bioreculus or a smoothie or something.
And then the irritation is finished on the inside, and you also have your child back. So
there's a lot of toxins attached to parasites as well that go into the bloodstream.
That's right. It's
irritate the brain, and Candida is another one that will irritate the brain, the toxins from that, and that's fed by high starch carbs and sugars.
So the key is absolutely reduce the carbohydrates, reduce fruit as well. Just allow your child to drink lots of water.
And contrary to what the teachers say, they need a fruit break. They don't need a fruit break.
No.
Sometimes one of the worst things for them.
Not sometimes, all the time.
Yeah.
Because fructose is one of the worst things for your body. And so fructose also goes to the brain and sets up irritation in the brain. So after fruit break, children are often a lot harder to control and finding it hard to concentrate. So we really have to turn the whole ADHD problem on its head and look at how we're contributing to that in our society.
They should make fat balls and give them a fat ball.
Fat bombs. Yep. You know, fat bomb recipes. You can Google them. So like
made from coconut oil. A lot of coconut oil.
With raw cacao and so on. You can check that out. But the simplest thing is just like a lot of butter, fatty meats and so on. Work really well. For little babies with like who are cranky and crabby all the time. With
digestive discomfort.
If your child is cranky or crabby, it always comes from your digestion. I can guarantee you that. So it even starts with little babies.
A meal of this with their food.
Yeah.
Feed time.
Put it in the drink bottle. And Pete and I, we love this one. So this is actually, you know, a new product, although we've had it this year now for a whole year with really good results. And this can be taken even when you're on antibiotics or when you're on some sort of drug that destroys your gut bacteria.
Withstands the antibiotics and withstands the acid in the stomach.
So this is what we call new generation spore probiotics. So these are like the Superman that go into your gut and they heal and seal your gut.
50% better than any other probiotics.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Tests have been done with them.
Yeah, So it's $56 for 60 capsules,
Which is a
and
month's worth.
it's a month's worth. So
For,
it's
for
definitely
for an adult. For a child, if they swallow capsules, they would only need one a day instead of two.
yeah. Okay, and this is probably easier than this. This is powder, but it still works really, really well. And of course, like I said, the Bioreculus is awesome as well.
Wondering whether my plummet friend may have come.
Yeah, I think the 20 minutes.
The dog is calling out, so
Alright.
I better go and check. So
Do you have to turn your mic off?
have a good week.
Turn your mic off?
Yeah, I'll turn the mic off.
Otherwise,
There
we'll
might be some swearing out there. Bye.
I'm sure Peter actually magnetized the burst pipe just when we have to do our weekly live Facebook live. Subconsciously he would have done it. So I'll just finish by saying that 90% of our DNA apparently comes from our good gut bacteria, and only 10% of our human DNA comes from our human ancestry or is human. So our microbiome, which is our immune system, which is in our tummy or in our gut, is the most important thing. And if your child has behaviors that are out of control or any worrying behaviors, you always have to look at the gut microbiome. It's called the microbiome. And interestingly enough, we can't live without our microbiome, but our microbiome can live without us. It just continues to live on even after we die. So we're the ones, we are depending on it more than your microbiome depends on you, if you understand what I mean. So it's really important that you take good care of yourself. So and the thing is, carbohydrates, sugars and fruits, they distort your microbiome, or they destroy it, and then all the hand sanitizing goes through your hands, through the skin, into the gut microbiome as well, and destroys it. And there are many other outside factors that go towards the destruction of the microbiome. Of course, antibiotics and so on. So it's actually really good, pertinent, I would say, that every day you do this for yourself to look after your microbiome. Just take some extra, take one of these a day. That's what Pete and I do. Or create your own fermented drinks, or buy organic fermented foods, as well as probably take a capsule of a really good quality probiotic per day, and then you'll feel a difference. That you feel the flow of difference go through your entire body. So I'm going to finish with this now, and I just want to thank you for tuning in, and just make sure that you look after yourself over the next silly holiday. What do we call it? Silly this season. Lean into the savories more rather than the sweets. Give your children lots to drink, and yourself as well, lots of water and salt, and eat more good fats as well. And then you'll enter the year 2021 with a great start. So thanks for tuning in. I'll put everything that we talked about in an article so you can read it as well. And please share it with everyone. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next Thursday night. We normally do this on Thursday night at 7 p.m. If you have any questions for us, just send us an email or put it in the comment box, and then we'll go from there. Thanks everyone. Have a good sleep. Bye bye.